Hi everyone, welcome to this Nginx video. So in this video, we'll be talking about Nginx, the history of Nginx, and uh, what is Nginx? Is it a reverse proxy, load balancer, or a web server? So the agenda for this video is we'll discuss about what was the life before Nginx was introduced, and we'll also discuss about why do we need communication protocols, for example, HTTP and etc. Then we'll discuss about Nginx, the features of Nginx, how it is so popular these days. And finally, we'll be discussing about what exactly is Nginx. Is it a web server, load balancer, or reverse proxy? So let's start. So how many times have you visited google.com? So the moment you enter your browser, displays the homework, like homepage of Google. And do you know the process behind it? So basically, you enter the URL on your browser. Browser sends an HTTP request to the web server, and the web server detects the corresponding web resource, and this web server sends back the HTTP response to the browser, and this browser displays the requested page for you. As you can see in the figure, we have a web client. So what exactly is a web client? It's your browser. So you can make this browser request google.com from your browser, or you can also send the same command using Perl or Telnet also. Then we have this web application. So what exactly is the web application? Any website what you're trying to what you're trying to access is called web application. Then we have this web server. Web server is kind of a system that hosts your web applications, your website. Then we have resources. So resources can be anything. For example, your static or any dynamic files like HTML, JSON, PDF, etc. And it is sent by the web application from your website. And each resource has its unique URL. So unique URL, for example, we have home, about us, etc. These are the unique URLs for each page in the website. And how these like different things communicate with each other, they communicate each other using protocols. So protocols set of rules agreed by both the parties for standardization and the communication, right? So how different systems communicate with each other. So for that, we need protocol. We'll be discussing about protocol in later slides. So how Nginx was introduced. So the entry of Nginx. So one fine morning in 1999, Dan Kegel, he came up with an issue that all the traditional web servers are incapable of handling 10,000 concurrent connections, and he named it C10K problem. The C10K problem is the main reason why the next giant of the field called Nginx grabbed the stage. So Dan Kegel was facing this problem. He was not able to handle 10,000 concurrent clients in one of his applications. So he came up with this idea of a software called Nginx. Before we dig more into Nginx, we'll have to have some idea about the web servers, what web servers are and how they operate. So web server is a computer that processes the HTTP request and sends back the HTTP response to the client. There are several examples of web servers. For example, we have Apache, IIS, and Nginx is also a very popular web server. Now, as we were discussing earlier about the protocol, so what is the need of this protocol? Why do we need it? So as you can see in the figure, when two individuals communicate with each other, they should know a common language to convey their thoughts. The same way, when two systems need to communicate, they should follow a common mode of communication. And they agree upon a common set of rules. These rules called protocol, and it governs the communication. So There are several types of protocols available. For example, we have TCP, UDP, FTP, and HTTP. Out of which I guess HTTP is considered the most important. So HTTP, the hero. If we look at the Wikipedia definition of HTTP, it is a client-server protocol based on request-response model. It has two components, HTTP request and HTTP response. So HTTP request is the client sends a request with the URL of an HTML page. Then response, who sends the response? The web server transmits back the requested HTML page via an HTTP response. So this is how HTTP request and response works. Now, the first web server. If we talk about first web server, so I think W3C HTTPD or CERN, CERN HTTPD is the world's first web server developed in 1990 by Tim Berners-Lee and his team at CERN. The full form of CERN is European Organization of Nuclear Research. Then we have this adapt web servers. So both Apache HTTP server and IIS were introduced in the year 1995, and even now they are reigning as two giants in the world of web technology. IBM WebSphere was introduced in the year 1998, and in 1999, Apache released its Tomcat server to support Java servlets and JSP. Now, what is C10K problem which led to the invention of Nginx? So, C10K problem, as we discussed earlier, so threaded servers like Apache, they cannot handle 10,000 connections because each connection creates a new thread and the kernel uses ONS per algorithm. So, 10,000 threads are not possible practically. So, the engineers started moving away from threaded servers to event-driven servers like Nginx. So the big O notation used for calculating time, space, complexity of algorithms, we use this Nginx one because this is event-driven servers as compared to the threaded servers that we have earlier, for example, Apache and IBM WebSphere. So what is Nginx? So it is open source web server or a reverse proxy server. It can also be utilized for server load balancing and HTTP cache. Now let's talk about Nginx as a web server. So the Nginx server processes the HTTP request and sends back the HTTP response to the client. Nginx handles HTTP requests by asynchronous event-driven methods. So as we discussed earlier, these are Nginx is event-driven asynchronous because it is asynchronous. Whereas other web servers like Apache, they were of what you call, they were not event-driven, they were threaded web servers. Because of that shortcoming, they were not able to handle 10,000 requests simultaneously. So Nginx is also a very popular reverse proxy. So what reverse proxy? Basically, reverse proxy is also a proxy server. It retrieves the data from all the resources on behalf of its client. So Nginx supports reverse proxying through the multiple protocols, for example, fast CGI, UWSGI, SCGI. So this is how Nginx works as a reverse proxy. Nginx can also be called as a load balancer because it acts as an effective load balancer for HTTP by distributing requests across multiple applications. Because of that, it improves the performance, reduces the latency, and also maximizes the throughput. So Nginx supports many algorithms for load balancing. For example, we have a round robin algorithm, least connection, IP hash, etc. So I think this is all we had in this video. I hope after watching this video, you have some better understanding of Nginx. And in the for further study, I'll share some of the very good links in the description comment box, so you can start studying Nginx and implementing it on your local machine. So thanks guys for watching. Thanks for your time. Thank you.